the very first thing you hear in the album is sing, sang, sound, sang, sang, sound, like, right, and that's the voice in the joint. Because when you sing it, I'm like, oh no, I'm using this. Like,
you were not born an obligation, a vindication. Greatness is not your salvation, a compensation.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Zakiyyah, and welcome to African Import, the Kickback, where we will be talking with some of the collaborators from African Import, doing it like the old school days where we used to hang out on the block with your friends and family. And I am very excited because today I had the honor of sitting down and chatting with someone who I deeply admire, someone who brings such humility and amazing, incredible talent to his work. None other than Axtramentals!
First and foremost, right back at you. Really,
Thank
really
you.
thoroughly just appreciate our work, relationship, friendship, and just all that's come from these last couple of years. So thank you.
And Ax has produced about, what, five
Five,
songs?
yeah, five.
songs off of the African Import album, some of which I know are some of y'all favorites because y'all be telling me. So
Honored, absolutely honored.
So yes, thank you for being here.
Of course. Right before we started filming, she gave me the tour of the space. I'm like, this is absolutely amazing. So thank you for having me
we are
here.
the
The
lovely
incubator.
Cultural Equity Incubator. Thank you for hosting us. Amazing artists based in Boston.
Indeed,
So, yeah.
indeed. Definitely coming back.
Yes, as you should, as you should. So let's talk about how we first connected.
Yep, I remember.
Because it kind of shows what a small world Boston is, and we actually found out later we know each other from other places too. But initially when we first knew we were connecting, I think it was through Amanda Shea.
It was, shout out to A. Shea.
And Billy Dean actually gave me your information too.
Shout out to BDC.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I remember Amanda Shea was looking for a vocalist to be featured on her album, on her project that you were producing.
Yep.
And that's when
God again. Yeah.
Yes,
Shout out to Amanda Shea.
yes.
I remember.
And that's when I got to come over and work with you both for the first time artistically and really get to see how you do what you do. And I was like, And then when Billy D mentioned your name too, I was like, wait a minute. These are two artists, Amanda and Billy, who I really love and admire, and they're both saying your name. And then after we started working together, we realized that we actually had other spaces in common.
Way back. So when I was looking at the, first and foremost, shout out to Amanda Shea, shout out to Billy Dean Thomas, just incredible talents. You can't say enough good things about them just as people and as artists. So that first session when Amanda brought you to the house, I remember you sitting there like, wait a minute, you look familiar. We started doing the thing that we do. It's like, wait, you look familiar. You know what? And then we realized that years back, I was coaching tennis. You and your brother, right? Or just you?
No, it was just me.
Just you. All right. You were a student at Sportsman's Tennis and Enrichment Center. And real quick, black fact, right? Sportsman's Tennis and Enrichment Center is the oldest and therefore the first black-owned tennis facility in the United States.
Yes.
So I wanted to highlight that as we're talking about African import and all things
don't you
black.
have
My dad is a founding member. My dad is one of the founding 5 members of Sportsman's. He actually was inducted into the United States Tennis Hall of Fame last year. No, I'm sorry, 2 years ago, 2024.
Congratulations.
So he and Albert Lewis, who are among the living founding members, were honored into the International Tennis Hall of Fame a couple years back. So we have history through that, and then church, right? Because and so. Shout out to Marilyn Andre.
Yeah. Shout out to Miss Marilyn, my first ever vocal teacher.
Yep. And one of my first choir directors when I was in church school and then youth group as a teenager. So we realized all those connections, and then from there we just continue to break the ice and got to work. Actually, that day, because I feel like the beat for Worthy, what is now Worthy, I'm pretty sure it was the first thing I played for you when at that session at the house. Yep.
Yeah, and then it just evolved.
Sure did.
Oh
sure
my
did.
God.
I know.
And let me tell you something about this dude, okay? Because he's so humble. You don't realize how no, seriously. You don't be realizing how talented you are because like you don't hold like I'm so used to working with like a lot of straight cis men in this industry like really carry themselves like this, like they got a lot of pride, right. You know what I'm saying? And you just like, hey, how you doing? You like you
I'm
just,
him.
You just chilling, and so you don't like. I remember when I first started because like some of the beats that we made from the album were literally just me making voice notes.
Yep.
That I sent you that you made beats out of it. And then I sent you a couple of references. I remember I sent you like Jill Scott and some other things. Shout out to Jill Scott. I can't wait to rap with you, girl.
Indeed. Manifested. For real.
And you took those voice memos and like just sent it off into another world. And I was just like, yo, this is like better than what I pictured in my head.
The dope thing about your voice memos though, and the notes that you would put together like an email, one, it just made it easy to just kind of give to find direction and have the guidance on just where I need to go. Because sometimes you're, as a producer or whomever, you're just creating from scratch and hoping that it makes sense of what's going on. And not to mention your voice notes were dope enough to be like on the joint. So like if you, by now you've listened to African Import, if you haven't, need to do that right now.
Listen to it.
You know, and the very first thing you hear in the album is right, and that's the voice note in the joint. Because when you sing it, I'm like, oh no, I'm using this. Like, and that, so, and because African, the title track, African Import, was probably the hardest or most challenging in a good way beat that I worked on, because I'm like, I know I wanted to feel strong.
Yeah.
Like the title in itself feels very strong. It feels powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know I want horns. I know what I wanted. It was just a matter of how I wanted to put it together. So I sat on that for a while till finally, when you sent the voice note, I'm like, oh yeah. I know exactly where we're going with this one. So it was really just fun to put together.
And
but yeah,
you did that.
No, we did that. We you know what I'm saying? The village, you know. No, I just appreciate you for entrusting me with voice notes and just all the guidance you and the direction. I really appreciate your collaborative spirit and the direction and the way you direct.
I appreciate your collaborative spirit. You know, one thing that people might not realize, I don't know if you even realize it, is that like, you know, child, I was coming in with a lot of baggage because I had gone through an experience of working with other people in the business in the past who did me dirty, you know what I'm saying? And so you were my first person that I came to start to try to get back into the creative process and create again and really give back to this album, to be able to remember what it feels like to enjoy, to create something new, and you just gave me so much energy.
Wow.
And you just filled me all the way back up. I'm like, okay, you know what? I can do this now.
Wow.
And I don't take that for granted.
You know what? I'm like speechless hearing that, but I remember like I think our first like official session, whether it was at the house or whether it was at or the record co, and you talked about that experience that you had and all that you went through in that situation, you know, just personally, even legally, if I'm allowed to say that, you know, and one, I can imagine what it is like to rebuild. I mean, all of us, if you live long enough, you have to do some rebuilding and reconstruction at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
But two, men and women dynamics in the business, unfortunately, play a role in how great or terrible some people's experiences are, particularly women who have, you know, have been in the space of folks who felt like they can just kind of play on their influence with somebody, you know. And so I wanted to make sure, whether or not you told me that story, I wanted to make sure that our working dynamic was such that we were comfortable working with each other, and that we were able to just have that we were receptive and open to each other's feedback and constructive criticisms or what have you, and just try to make the process as seamless, fun as possible. I was actually thinking about how fun each session was, quite frankly, because I feel like there were things that I was learning more and more about you as we went along, and I'm like, yo, wait, she does this, she does that, and then I remember one of the first performances I saw of yours was Amanda Shay's. Shout
out to Amanda again.
Once again, shout out to Amanda Shay. The God Again release. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, the operatic skills. I don't know if that's an adjective or not, but whatever. We're gonna make it one today. The operatic skills. And display and the bars and just the artistic direction, like all coming from this one person. I'm like this. It actually opened it, so as you talk about kind of revitalizing, it revitalized me, because I'm like, yo, there's so many possibilities with what we can create for this song or that song. And I just admire the range, the versatility, everything about you. So just tip of the hat to you. My hat's over there somewhere, but
And it's great also that I was able to feel safe with you, not just from a working perspective, but an artistic perspective, because sometimes I would come in and be unsure about certain lines, and I'm like, let me rap this for you first, or let me sing this for you first, and like, how does this line sit, or what do you think this line means? Is it confusing, and things like that. And so, like, really being able to have someone whose artistic voice and interpretation I trust means everything.
No, absolutely. Right back at you. There was beats I was definitely nervous about. When you have like the one, so let's see, Worthy was the first one I played for you, and then when you have the joint that works, especially for it to be the first thing I played for you, like, oh man, I hope the next ones live up to that. Because then in order, so it was 2023. So at the top of 2024, you sent me, or the end of 2023, you sent me the voice notes and the notes for
colors, and it
goes on, right? And I was about to call it the old title, but so then when you sent me the voice notes, I'm like, dang, all right. It challenged me in a good way, like I said, to create differently, because one of the things that the feedback I have about myself, at least at one point, was my production was just very noisy, and I feel like people's words were competing with it, and so I had to learn, for someone who's a vocalist and who's an MC, who again is a trained opera singer, give your voice room in the records to do so. So you taught me a lot in terms of how to just approach tracks differently. I think African Import, it goes on, are probably the least noisy records I made, but thankfully they fit what you were trying to do. So
colors,
yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I think, like, in previous experiences when I was making music, that was like a reoccurring struggle that I was having, where it was like my voice kept competing with the music, and part of it, I think, was that I was, you know, the collaborators I was working with, like, were kind of prioritizing the beat and the noise of the beat. So the fact that you had that intentionality going into it, and that's low-key probably why I wound up loving the song so much. It's just like incredible.
No, for sure. Once I realized the kind of collaborator you are, it actually made me comfortable to be like, you know what? Let me just stop here. I'm gonna. Yeah, you got the drums, you got your keys, you got whatever your instruments are. If we need to build on it, we can. We can do that. And you're the kind of person that works with people, you know, where they're at. Like, we've had, even just beyond beats, we've had technical issues where you know, stuff was happening with my microphone, something might have been with the keyboard, and I mean with the computer or whatever, or I might have been trying to figure out how to work certain things in the studio. And a lot of artists, let's be real, don't extend grace, you know, for, you know, with the time and the money that they spend. And you not only were graceful, but solution oriented. And so we figured out how to work things together. And if if we're not going to record this session, let's use this time to rearrange parts of a beat or add to the beat, or you would even just play stuff. Sometimes you would just play stuff and be like, yo, when you hear this lyric, what do you think? Because there was a lot of times I thought a song was about something and it might have been, and it wasn't, and then you kind of decoded it for me, and so I'm like, yo, this, like, the brain on Zakiyyah, my God. I'll tell you this though, when you were talking about it was something that you were saying earlier about, you know, being nervous about sessions, and I also was nervous, but I knew when I got a woo child, like, you know, on certain things that got played, I'm like, okay, we got something here. So
I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, listen, absolutely. Yeah. So I just always just appreciated our working down. I appreciate our working dynamic.
Yeah, me too. And to your point about like giving people grace, I think it's important when we have conversations about equity and community that those things need to live outside in the business space just as they live in the music itself. You can't just talk about it and not enliven it and how you're showing up, right?
Absolutely.
Because I think what I also see a part of my function is as an artist is to breathe life into other artists around me. So if other artists are looking to build another skill or venture into new different types of music or whatever, yeah, let's do it. Let's try it, because I would love to say that I'm a part of your story and how you grew into doing the next thing.
And
you know
vice
what I
versa.
mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So. Even at your listening session, what you're saying very much came to life with the people that were in the room. It was clear the kind of community you fostered through your work relationships, that you did speak life into people's role into your project, and vice versa. Like, people would speak life into with their skill sets and with their belief in you and into your project as well. And so once I really got to see that at the conclusion of the project and with the listening session, I'm like, okay, like I see what I've become a part of, and it feels great. So thank you once again just for allowing me to be immersed in the African and Point experience.
So I'm curious, like, what was your approach to being able, because you know the album was a tribute to the Black diaspora, and so what was your approach to being able to like incorporate those sounds as you were producing the songs for the album?
The diaspora, when you're describing it, is it is variety, it is dynamic, and so I got to live in the comfort of that variety. It doesn't have to be just one thing. It doesn't have to be just one sound. As we were talking earlier, the voice notes and the notes helped, you know. So like, it was already that was already a launch pad. But there were times where you didn't provide a voice note or an email saying I want this or I want that. Reintroduce myself.
I was
was an example of that, because we were wrapping up a session, and you were like, yo, I need an Afro beat sounding something, and that was when I just had something sitting on deck, like, oh, let's try this out, you know. But in terms of crafting the sound, going back to the song African Import, like that, just as an example, there was a point where the beat as you hear it for the verse and the choruses in the first few minutes was what it was, and the end, when you get to drip dripping in my blackness, you recited that in studio, just kind of sitting there and talking through it, and I was able to create that drum pattern right then and there. So I knew I wanted it to be different from the rest of the song, and the cadence of it felt like this could be danced to. I was guessing, you know, and like, you know, this could be danced to, and I was just envisioning how would I want somebody to physically respond to this when they hear it the first time or the many times they listen to it. So let's get some footprints in there.
Like the African foot pattern. That was so brilliant. I was just like, and I don't know if people always notice those nuances, which is why I'm so glad we get a chance to talk about it.
For sure.
Even when I was talking about too, like, because I kept, like, when I was the first verse of the song I already had written. You remember that you made the beat to. So I had Mbaku in my head from Black Queen to say, and then you took it, and I mentioned that to you, and you took it and put it in the bridge. And I was just like, oh my God! I could picture people people live at a concert, like doing that, like.
Can I tell you how? I can't remember if I did. So initially I took the like for reference. It's not in the joint obviously, but I took the clip just doing it just to see how it would fit.
Yeah.
Took the clip out and you were like, okay, obviously I need the original vocal in there.
Yeah.
So when I went back and re-recorded it, I'm pretty sure I recorded that, like the hoop hoop chant in the house at 12 o'clock at night, probably waking up everybody downstairs, upstairs. And I did like at least 6 takes of it, just stacked it. And so, yeah, that's me embacoing in there.
Yo, you know what else that reminds me of though? We got to give you your props though, because you are also an actor for the African Import album. Yo, those voices you be hearing on them songs, hey, yo, I'm selling this, I'm selling that, da, da, da. Or like, hey, yeah, come here, pretty young thing. Da, da. That was all.
Thank you.
I said, can you do these voices to me? He was serious too. He was like, okay, well, I don't really do this, but, and then he did it, and it was just like so perfect. I felt like I was down Dudley. Watching some guy like out here selling some stuff like
government.
Yes,
don't tell about government.
Yes.
You know what? That was among other components was one of the most fun parts of it. Like where outside of the music making, we got to interject our personalities into it. And so when you asked me to do them, I'm like, okay. Like I'm like, let me get goofy for a second and do that. Like, cause there was the Hustle Man or Duffel Man skit. There was then the cat calling for colors. And actually, when I think about like influences and things that shaped my creative portion or contribution to this was when you talked about. This is the blackest album ever made or the blackest album ever created. And I'm like, yep, like that just guided it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, that among the opening line of African Import was on my ancestors' wildest dreams. Listen, thesis, body, conclusion.
Yes.
like this is how you kick off a project. This is clearly where it's going. And, so creating around those things, I think really helped. And having those parts that influence the production really helped. Yes.
So Axe will be putting that in his portfolio. If you ever need some voice acting, you need a voice actor.
Thank you. Right here. Right here. Axtramentals on all the socials. No, thank you just for opening the door to be able to do that and beyond the beat making and really just bringing out, I feel like, the best in all of the people that you brought in to collaborate on this, because and giving people the room to do that. Some folks want what they want and that's it, and you gave room for all types of just execution and creative expression. So thank you. Yeah.
Oh. So as you know, the album touches on so many themes, racism, homophobia, misogyny, colorism, all these things. How do you bring your own personal experiences to this project?
That is, it's not a tough question. It's a packed one because production aside, I spent a lot of time looking at the subject matter like through your lens, and then therefore the lens potentially of other women or even non-binary people, and just imagining. I want to make sure I have the song right. It Moves On.
Yeah.
Where this unnamed woman is walking her younger cousin or sibling to the store, buying some chips, and being catcalled by men who are way too old to be trying to date. And you still have to look after the cousin. You still have to get from this store back home. You still have to, go to work and live your life. And so before I even really think about me in that, I think about how much a person has to endure to be able to move on. Like, so when it comes to my personal experience, then I'm like, okay, like as we were talking earlier about just making sure that I'm making this as comfortable of an experience as I can for my sister right here, and making sure that our working dynamic is on point. That's important to me. Again, as we talk about the dynamics between men and women, and then just as a black man, I went back and listened to this album several times from different lenses. The first time was just for the vibe, like like just enjoying the feel of it, like, and then going back and listening to everything word for word and trying to interpret what I think is coming from it on forgive me, on the first operatic piece you hear.
Operatic, what, the pledge?
The pledge. I think it's the pledge. There's or it might be the second one. You reference brown skin in danger.
Oh yes, adieu.
So and I'm glad you said it first, because I was about to say that all wrong. Like, but you referenced brown skin in danger, and it made me think about whether this was your intention or not, how various aspects of our existence pose threats to other people, be it our intelligence, be it our creativity, be it our innovation, ingenuity, that when we enter a space, it's just not received, it's not welcomed, and sometimes we need to try to suppress it. So I listened to it, and from that lens, whether that was the intended message or not. And so I can think of, being in spaces where, I might not have been, where my contributions were not welcome, and I'm just expected to be here, or being 13 and just wanting to walk around the store to look at shoes and being followed by, a store manager thinking that I was going to steal something, and because I rocking a do-rag, Tim's or whatever, you know what I mean? And just all the different, just stereotypical things that come about when it comes to us and our space in the world. So, and I think this album is important in terms of saying that we belong in all spaces, that Black is beautiful, Black is dynamic, Black is versatility, and it should be treated as such.
Absolutely. And one beautiful thing I want to add to that is just that's what I love so much about intersectional identities and being able to be in community with people who have so many different identities in one. Because as we were working on different songs, our positionality was different. Yes. So it's like when we were talking about colorism, it's like in that sense, I am the one who has the privilege in that particular conversation. So I was able to engage you in conversation and be really thoughtful about the creative process in such a way. But also, you're a man, so how you experience colorism as a dark-skinned man is going to be different than a dark-skinned woman. And so, and then also like engaging in conversation around misogyny for It Moves On. It was actually very healing for me to be able to make that song with you, because initially I was like, I ain't doing this with no man.
No, I get you.
But then then I met you, and then it was just like, oh, but you know what? Like, he gets it. You know what I'm saying? And like, you were able to create such a safe space, and I'm like, oh, being able to have these conversations with you is actually quite healing, to be able to express this and have a Black man be able to hold this in such a loving way and contribute to putting that platform out there and amplify my voice as a Black woman in that way.
No, I'm grateful that we were able to create that space for each other, and I'm grateful for my wife. Shout out my baby, who we have a lot of these conversations. Just of course, just being home, and there are times where we're engaging in dialogue about something. And I might be, as I'm saying something, and as she responds, I'm way off base, or just I might have missed the mark, not really understanding a woman's perspective, even more so a black woman's perspective. And so I've learned a lot from her, how to listen and digest just other people's experiences, period. So my mind has changed a lot, just in my relationship with her, and then and going forward, and I'm blessed and I'm fortunate to have other sisters, sisters, cousins, my mother, of course, and other women in my life who I've learned a lot from just in conversation, whether the intention was to teach me something or not. Side note, I have to give you your flowers, because in making songs, some people have the gift of having the talent but not the substance. Some have the substance, not the talent, or the ability to execute. And you really have a great balance of edutainment, as they call it, where I can groove out and snap my fingers. I can two-step. I can whatever to certain joints. And at the same time, even with some of the tougher subjects on there, you can listen to it and still get the message from it. And I salute you on just being able to do that in terms of execution, because it's tough. It's tough to do.
Thank you, X. Oh, I love this conversation so much. It's funny because me and Billy were talking earlier about the value of being able to just sit and listen. And you don't have to be vocal all the time. Sometimes you just need to listen to what's going on around you, and sometimes that's where the growth comes in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out BDT real quick, because I listened back to the project several times, especially in getting ready for the discussion today. And I'm glad that I had a chance to run into BDT. So on the way in, I stopped them and I said, yo, once I got back into listening to just verses and words and really picking the song, all the elements of the song apart, the LGBTT line, I'm like,
it's so funny because when they first recorded that, I was like, did the acronym change? I was so confused. I was like, but then I realized they were spelling out their initials, and I was just like, oh.
It was so seamless. I was like, that is, shout out to BDT on When the Rainbow's Black and the production, like both. And as we're talking about so many different conversations that come out of this project, what I appreciated, what both of you delivered on that, just hands down, top to bottom, that your last verse on there, I think, again, just in me interpreting it, it struck me as I had this understanding about the LGBTQ community ever growing up. I think all of us have seen, might have even told, inappropriate, jokes as kids. You know what I'm saying? I'll admit to it, like just growing up and whatever. And as you get older, have more experiences with people in the world and learn from that last verse, that last 8 bars really touches on, because you said something about it's okay to have, I'm misquoting, but the consensus was it's okay to have errors and flaws, and essentially just being able to.
Ain't no shame in error, only denying growth.
There you go. Yes. And so for me, that was powerful because it allows you can hold a mirror up to yourself, and you're either going to make the decision to continue on in your ignorance or lack of understanding, or make the effort to understand. So I really reined in on that and honed in on that.
So glad you caught that, because it's funny because me and Billy was talking about that too, and that's exactly what that verse represented to me. It was like me like showing to the rest of the world, like, hey, I grew up being exposed to all sorts of homophobic mentality and internalizing it myself, and how I communicate with people and how I think about people. But it's never too late to change and to decide to do something different. There's no shame in growing up and thinking the way that the system designs you to think.
Yep.
But at some point you make the decision to do different and decide to speak life and love into the people around you instead of buying into the nonsense.
Absolutely.
So I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that's exactly what that was
No,
about.
for sure. I think that song, all the songs, quite frankly, accomplish, I would say, the goal of humanity, like, and really just take time to understand people, take time to understand perspectives.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, yes, this is about all things black, but I think that in this project you just really get, you know, the human experience, but especially the black experience in that. So this is just hats off to you. This is absolutely amazing. For sure.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so thinking way into the future as artists, you know, we're always thinking ahead, right? We don't make stuff just for it to be consumed like today.
Yep.
So years from now into the future, what do you hope people will take away from this project?
Black is dynamic. Black is beautiful. Black belongs everywhere. Black is everywhere. And black is just in every part of your existence, whether you acknowledge it or not. And the thing that I took away from once I got to hear the project in its totality, even at the listening session, is that there's not a stage, movie, television show, documentary, party, festival where this project can't live.
You heard that,
people? Right. Get ready for them licensors, because, you know. But yeah, I remember something about music that you can see is very important. And with every record that with every record on this album, I can see where it lives. And already, like, I've seen you perform it at churches, bars, you know, having previous exceptional visuals, stuff that was not even on this project. And so with the records that are on this years from now, I hope people will be surrounded by these songs. You are going to hear It Moves On over here. You're going to hear Adieu here. You're going to hear Reintroduce Myself here. You'll hear a movie in African Import, like it's kicking down the door on the song, you know. And I feel like each record somehow sets the scene for something. And that's what I hope people really get from their listening experience. Don't only see it, hear it, feel it.
That's right.
And also let it teach you something.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, I'm here for that.
Straight
I'm
up.
here for that. Oh my gosh. Ax, thank you so much for taking the time to come sit with me and chat with me.
Absolutely.
We got to do this again, because
Definitely.
there's so many more layers to touch on.
Really are. I had notes ready to go. I know
that's right.
One thing I'll say too, real quick, because I know we could do this all day. Sequencing, like, credible. I judge albums on a number of different bases, and outside of the quality of music itself, I could tell how seriously you took this project because of how you sequenced it and how intentionally and
I was thinking through that, like, how do we order this?
And the connections you drew. Red Shades in one part of her verse on Colors talks about You Are Worthy, and then next came You Are Worthy, and then you had all of your interludes in between tracks. So just salute to you for your eye, your ear, your intentionality, your artistic direction, and just everything that makes you you, and that made this project. So
thank you, brother. I so appreciate you. I think you're such a phenomenal being.
Right back at you.
Y'all better go and listen, download, get African Import, available everywhere where you get your music. Thank you so much.
Do that.
And stay black.
Stay black. You know? 365, 24/7.
That's right.
Another, I admit, concerns me. Because now I think how Willie Lynch is